Hey, Jeff Gibbons here with another video, and in this one I'm going to go over the Neoclassical collection that's on sale right now on the Native Instruments website, and it's Spitfire Audio's software. I have been wanting to do some Spitfire Audio videos for a long time. I'm a big fan of their stuff, and I am not being paid to do this video, but I was given the software to review. And I also get affiliate links when you click on the affiliate link below. So if you click on that and then purchase the sale, then I will get a small percentage of the proceeds. So it helps me out, helps me keep this channel going, and helps me, make more videos like this. So make sure you go check it out. There's only a few days left for this sale, and it's something that I've been curious about for a long time, especially the Olafor Arnold's libraries. I'm a big fan of his, and if you are wanting to get these libraries, this is the perfect time to do it because they're only on sale for a few more days. So check it out. And what I want to do is show you the different libraries, just scratch the surface. It's going to be a really quick video, show you a little idea that I came up with in the last few days, and just give you my opinions on the software on a sort of surface level. So what do I think right off the bat? And hopefully what it does is help you make a decision on whether the software is right for you. So the first one to look at is this Hauschka Composer Toolkit. So I hope I'm not destroying the name too much, but let's look at what this one's all about. And these are of course Canadian prices, by the way, so don't be afraid if you're American. They will be a lot less in American funds. But if we look at this Hauschka Composer Toolkit, this one just has a whole lot of piano sounds, prepared piano type stuff, and that's where they would take a grand piano and put all sorts of things inside it and mangle it and pluck it, and a lot of really interesting sort of ambient sounds. And what I did with that one is I started with just a simple patch. And the thing about a lot of these Spitfire libraries is that they've got this Evo Grid. And the Evo Grid took a while for me to get my brain around. So let me just duplicate this track so I can show you how that works a little bit. And basically what it's doing is it's splitting the keyboard up into these little zones. And so you can see these zones over on the left-hand side, and then you can see these different sounds up on the top right here. And they're grouped into categories. And what we can do is command click on any one of them here, and it'll set the whole keyboard to that one sound. So, and then if I command click on this one or control click on a PC, you can set different sections of the keyboard to certain sounds. So if I go down here, you can see now that these blue notes right here are on this first sound. Then up at the F sharp, we switch over to another one. And I could click the little dice right here, and I can go randomize with any. And so now it's going to split it up differently along the keyboard. So I'm going to have a whole bunch of them as I go up and down the keyboard. So you've got some controls, you've got some different mic positions and things like that as well, but I won't get too much into that. Let me show you one more patch that I've got from that library. That's this one right here. Most of these libraries here are going to be sort of a very ambient genre that you're writing for. The next library that I'm using in here is the London Contemporary Orchestra. So we've got two to choose from here, the London Contemporary Orchestra Textures, and then the London Contemporary Orchestra Strings is more of a traditional string type library. I've got a couple patches in here. If I go to the cello short here, so you can hear the round robin in there, pretty nice sounding cellos. I've also got this violas where I went through and made my own little kind of script here. So ostinato is just something that's kind of repeating. But what I love about it is that you can go and write your own rhythms. So you're not bound to pre-programmed rhythms like you are in other libraries that we have in Contact. So for the more bizarre sounds, I've got some of these London Contemporary Orchestra Textures. One, it's more of a voices sound. another patch called Bantam Supernovae. As I was going through the London Contemporary Orchestra textures, I just found that it was, again, a very specific library. So ambient sounds, drones. So it's not going to be something that you're going to be writing, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack with or something like that. Next, I've got an ambient guitars patch. And guitars for me are always a funny one because I play guitars and I like to play my own real guitars in songs if I need guitars. I do love the fact that they give you so many patches to choose from in this one. Let's just maybe try a couple of these patches just so you can hear a few of them out. And there's all sorts of stuff that I'm not even touching in here. It's got its own little sequencer that you can build up rhythmic sounding patches with. So this is definitely not doing this one justice, but okay, so this patch is interesting. You can see that it's got major and minor chords. So I play the minor one up here. Say if I'm in C minor, I want to go to an A flat major chord. That sounds wrong. They've got the A flat major 2 octaves down. So now I can go, let's do a lower. Then a B flat major, and an E flat major, and then do an F minor. So it gives you a way to deal with major and minor chords, which is kind of interesting. I noticed that on a couple of these patches here. And then I've got some cellos here. So the British Drama Toolkit is mostly orchestral sounds. So if I click right here, so we've got kind of a small ensemble. And I love the Broadchurch show. Olafor Arnold did the soundtrack for that one. I've watched the entire show, and just the soundtrack makes it so good. And I guess that's what they're going for with this kind of thing, British Drama Toolkit. I'm guessing it's heavily related to that show. And in this case, they've just got a small section of instruments. So I'm using that for the cellos here. Some different articulations in there. And then we got harmonics where they're just touching the string very lightly. So really organic sounding cello. It sounds very realistic, but very specific and not a ton of articulation. So you have to keep that in mind when you're looking at this library for sure. Next patch we've got in here is an Olafor Arnold's chamber. You've got these different sounds spread out over the range of the keyboard. And let's go up to the dice and go randomize with thrills. That's what we're at right now. And then let's go randomize with episodic. So very intense sound. Again, if I want to hear just one of these sounds, I just command click. Let's try some of the other ones. Let's go to dissonance and see what happens. Beautiful sound. I think most composers look at these kind of libraries and think of them as a tool that comes out when they need to write something for a scene in a movie, or maybe it's in a piece of music where you just want that kind of really subtle sound. Even the way I've made this little piece here, it's almost too many layers, so I can't hear all the individual sounds as well. So you're really kind of going for the minimalist thing in all of these libraries. And then I've also got Olafor Arnold's Toolkit stuff in here, which I am a big fan of. I think these are probably my favorite. This one would probably be my favorite out of all of them, and was always the one I was most interested in at the beginning. But I've got a Rhodes in here. So it's a Rhodes sound with lots of processing, and you know, it's just kind of ready to go. We've also got a Kalimba, same notes. Let's just have a quick look at a couple patches there so you can see what that one's all about. A felt grand piano, which is a big thing in his sound. Let's look at a few more sounds in that toolkit, because it's more than just this felt piano. And if I go to something like Synth Embellishments, you see that we have a bunch of patches in there. So I'm using the sub pad later on in this kind of chorus part. Some nice synth type patches. Do that. So I've got a Kalimba, I've got a subwave in there, and then I've also got this one patch, Olafor Arnold's Evolutions, all about string sounds. And then this one kind of became the most distinct patch in the song, really. Very cool sound. Anyways, last thing I've got in here is I've got a flute from the British Drama Toolkit. I've got some cymbals that I just tossed in there to sort of build it up. And then I'm using the Armageddon kit from Damage, the old Damage. I gotta check out the new one for sure. But there we go. Let's have a listen to this whole thing. So my goal here was to give you a taste of what these libraries are all about, and maybe show you some of my favorite features that I've noticed just scratching the surface of these libraries, and helps you to decide which libraries are right for you. So go check out the sale, and thank you so much for the support, and we'll see you in the next video.